Dating in the big 2026. This is the video I wanted to make after talking with friends and also seeing some comments on the last video. So I wanted to talk about a few lessons that I've learned through my own experiences and things I've just been seeing online. I think one of the biggest issues right now is people trying to overanalyze what love is and if they are in love with somebody or if that person likes them. When realistically, I think the important thing is to just let it come naturally. And I think over time, as you hang out with this somebody, that you'll just naturally start to notice how comfortable you feel in their presence and that you're able to let your guard down. And I think that people often confuse infatuation with love. Infatuation is what happens when you see things that are common between you and this other person, and you start to believe that, oh, maybe we are compatible. But love doesn't happen until much later in the relationship, and it's important that you note that. And I say this because I've experienced myself. There's been a few times where there will be this person in my life, and after the first couple times of meeting them, I start to convince myself that they are the one. I start telling all my friends that, and I start seeing everything as I start looking at everything they do for signs that they are interested in me, and I don't treat them like normal people and grow our relationship naturally. And I think that's the problem, is people try to look for signs when realistically it doesn't matter if they're interested. You can just be friends and let whatever happens happens. If you guys grow into a romantic relationship, great. And if not, oh well, you'll meet somebody else. And speaking about if they're interested in you, I think one thing that has helped me is their interest doesn't define if you are interesting. Just because somebody isn't interested in you, it doesn't mean that you don't have desirable traits. It doesn't mean that everything is your fault. Some people just aren't compatible or don't give themselves the time to be compatible. And a question that I think is really difficult for us to ask ourselves: are you actually ready for a relationship? And what makes you think so? Is it because of societal pressure to be in the status of a relationship? Is it because you see your friends in a relationship and they look happy and you want that feeling? But do you love yourself enough to be in one? And I say this because I don't believe that anybody should be in a relationship if they can't handle being by themselves. If you are the type that you start to become codependent really easily, such as looking at their text, wondering why they haven't texted back, and it's only been 10 minutes, constantly wondering if they truly love you, I don't know if that can ever be a healthy relationship, and it will also damage your mental health so much more. And it took me a long time to really understand what the idea of loving yourself meant, because that's something I've always heard from friends and things online, but I didn't know what it meant. But I've become to realize that it means finding the worth in yourself and also having grace for yourself, knowing that you can't do everything perfectly and that not everything perfect will happen to you either, but being okay with that and working to do better after. And then naturally, once you start to notice your worth and start letting it flow out of you naturally, is when people will naturally attract to you, because they realize your confidence in yourself and that you don't need anybody else's approval. If your mood is completely determined by how they're treating you and what you think they're thinking about you, I think you need to give yourself time and ask yourself what makes you feel that way, that you can't have that same kind of love for yourself. And on the flip side of that, if you're talking to somebody that you feel is leading you on or giving you mixed emotions and you've talked about it with them, do not allow yourself to stay in that spot. Make sure you keep standards for yourself and you don't let somebody constantly kick you around and play with your feelings. But I say all of this to say, just enjoy it. Don't think too hard about what love is. Just do your best to feel it and soak in everything that you're feeling, the good and the bad, because it's one of the most beautiful things on this planet. Take care of yourself.